Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Inish. I'm an artist and illustrator, and for today's video I decided to do something that I've never done before, which is drawing Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I always have loved the movies, but when I started thinking about it, I never drawn it. So I decided to go out of my comfort zone because I really love this character, and I went to watch the film. It was super fun, as millions and millions of people have seen all over the world. Spoiler alert, there's 3 Spider-Man in these movies. It was quite a nostalgic trip for me. I loved the movie. I think it was really well done and gave me the inspiration to just study the different posing, because Spider-Man in itself is a very dynamic character. There's a lot of very cool poses that I'm not used to do, so I think it will be very interesting to actually dive into it. So I'm gonna do studies on my sketchbook, different posing and all of that, and then I will probably choose 3 poses, and I will do a final illustration where I basically combine the 3 Spider-Man and make my own interpretation of Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you're interested to see how I draw Spider-Man, please keep watching the video. I started by sketching with a Prismacolor Color Erase pencil, so I could do the rough sketching without it being too noticeable. Even though it's red, the result in the end won't be as harsh as if I used graphite pencil, for example, which I also like very much and I use regularly, but in this case I feel like it totally meets the vibe of Spider-Man and that it will give a nice space and a nice look to the sketches. The first sketch is always the most challenging one. I was still warming up and basically deciding what to draw and how the spread would look. So I started with Spider-Man's signature squatting pose. Doing the suit's detailing is also challenging because the webbing is embracing the muscles and curves of the bodies, so I have to have the anatomic volumes in mind and how the muscles are in use. So it's an interesting exercise, but it's not easy to look well and good. The second pose I chose was one of my favorites because it was incredibly dynamic and it's something that I'm not at all used to doing, so it was a very fun challenge for me. The third pose is supposed to show the control and strength of Spider-Man, and it's a variation of the squatting pose. Then I start lining the drawings using my Pigma FB pen, which I love because of its pressure-sensitive nature that allows me to give more expression to my lines. While I was sketching, I had references of Spider-Man drawings and pictures, and I also had Spider-Man movies playing, so I could absolutely immerse myself in the character's world. So it's such a fun process, and it was a great way to get me in the mood and excited to try the new poses and to explore this character. These poses I'm doing on the right page also play with dynamics and perspective, which was my goal while studying. While I was supposed to just use the red pencil to sketch, then I thought, why not give like the drawing a little bit more life, and then I just filled it in. I continued playing with poses and lining the sketches as I go. Then I thought about just actually color roughly the sketches and give the pages more life, because since I was already using the red, why stop halfway? And honestly, I really liked how expressive the drawings looked in the end. Because I used Caran d'Ache watercolor pencils, I then use Ecoline Blender to blend the colors, which is a good tip, I think, when you don't have or want to use water and brushes. It's just a convenient and practical way, and it really works well. Here is a sketchbook spread, which I'm honestly super proud of. I really loved doing this, and from here I chose 3 sketches to represent each Spider-Man and start my final digital painting. I start by aligning the sketches and change them to a characteristic each Spider-Man has, so each Spider-Man has a little variation of the other, and that's actually a good thing because each suit is a little bit different from the other, and that also makes them more recognizable as different representations of the same character, if that makes sense. So I started lining everything, and to be honest, Tom Holland's suit was definitely the trickiest part of this whole process, because I think it took me the longest in the painting to figure out how to draw it properly, because it has so many details, so many lines, and I know it's still not perfect, but it will do. I made sure to make each Spider-Man recognizable. Then I started blocking the colors, I added the coloring, and then afterwards I made a city simulation, but I didn't want too many details because I wanted the Spider-Man to have the focus of the actual illustration. I made a portal to link to the movie, and I added the last details and also the movie logo lettering because I think it totally completes the painting and make it more cohesive. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was really super fun to do, and I can't wait to experiment more and do more things like this. So I hope you enjoyed the trip that was creating Spider-Man based on Spider-Man No Way Home. I had a blast doing this. It was so much fun because it's something that I normally don't do. Types of posing that I'm not very used to, and I'm trying to be more open to create different types of characters and different types of posing, and it was very nice for me to study this, so I loved doing this. It was so much fun, and I loved how the spread actually in my sketchbook looks like. I think it really captured the different posing that Spider-Man can do. I did paint it a little bit roughly, but it was on purpose because in the beginning I was not supposed to paint it because I was going to use it for a final painting afterwards, but then thought like just paint it and have like a nice spread in your sketchbook and then use it anyways to create a final illustration. So I really love this. I love this type of dynamic posing. This one it's really fun, I think, because works with perspective. It was so much fun to do, honestly. As I was doing this, I was talking with friends of mine, and I was saying that I'm having so much fun doing this because something that is very different from what I normally do. So I really loved this challenge, and this is the final illustration that I've done. I think it looks nice. Obviously I could do more detailing surrounding the characters, but I wanted to put my focus on the actual characters because that was what I was studying in this specific video. So anyway, it was, as I said so many times, it was super fun to do. I'm really happy with the results that I got, and let me know if you like it, if I represented Spider-Man in a good way. If you want me to try new superheroes as well, let me know if this is the types of videos that you like. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye!